Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make are cookies. These particular cookies, though, only have 3 ingredients in them. So, boy, is it fast and quick. This is a great recipe, too, if someone's not looking for something that has, sugar in it or honey in it or artificial sweeteners, because it's not in there. All that it's 3 of is instant oatmeal, the instant or the quick oatmeal that you can buy, okay? Unsweetened applesauce. Now you can use regular sweetened if you want, but I like the unsweetened. And nuts, whatever type of nut that you like. A chopped nut, anywhere from medium to fine chop. Walnuts, pecans, almonds, whatever that you like, and it's so quick and so easy. And for many of you, and I thank you so much, that have watched other videos on my channel, I like recipes that are very quick, very fast to put together, but they taste good. And this particular cookie, though it only has 3 ingredients in it, it tastes fantastic. Now, if you're used to a very sugary cookie or whatever, you might not like them. But for some people that are on restricted diets or for whatever reason, they want a cookie that doesn't have sugar in it. Yet, of course, there is natural sugar in the applesauce. So anyway, I think this recipe can appeal to a lot of people, and hopefully maybe you're one of them, okay? All right, what I'm going to do is a couple things. I'm going to go through the recipe and give you the ingredients and how much I used. And then I'm also going to warn you that when I turn my mixer on, it can be loud. And I want you to prepare in case you want to turn down or make necessary adjustments when it's on. Yet this recipe, you can basically do it with a hand mixer if you prefer, okay? All right, so let's get started. First up, you're going to use 2 cups of quick oats, okay? And the quick oats or the fast cooking oats are the ones that, they're very chopped up. If you use regular oatmeal, you know what I'm talking about. But these are the quick ones, okay? So you're going to put 2 cups of that into your mixing bowl, okay? And if in case someone writes and says, have I ever used the regular oats for it? No, I haven't. I've always used the quick oats, okay? The next thing we're going to be putting in is 1 cup of applesauce. Mine in particularly is unsweetened. But like I mentioned, if you prefer to use, one with sweetened, go right ahead. It will make your cookie a little bit sweeter. I also want to tell you too that when we start mixing this, if the cookie seems to be a little too dry, add 1 to 2 tablespoons more of the unsweetened applesauce. Okay, and the next thing is a cup of chopped nuts. And I'm putting in walnuts. And then I'm going to turn my mixer on, so I'm warning you about the sound. Okay, and all you're going to put your mixer on is just till it's all combined, okay? So I'm just going to clean up the sides here a little bit. And this is where you start checking. Let me turn it on for another second. You want to see how moist it is. If you feel that when you push it together with your fingers that it's not combining well, that's when you want to add your extra 1 or 2 tablespoons of your unsweetened applesauce, okay? I went ahead and used parchment paper. You can use your mats, your silicone mats if you prefer. Now, what you can do is roll them by hand about 1 inch in size or bigger, depending how big you want to make these cookies. But I brought out my scoops because I find it easier, and I like using scoops because I feel that my judgment, then I know they're all uniform and the same size. But I want to show you the different sizes. This is the smaller one. I'm using the next one up. And that's about, I think, about 2 tablespoons. And then you can see that one gets a little bigger and so forth, and then they get bigger and bigger as we go along. So it's not the smallest, it's the next one. And like I said, it's about 2 tablespoons. And what I'm going to do now is just take out my paddle, take my excess off. And then with my spatula, just to get to the bottom, this is when you can really tell if it's going to be moist enough for you to form it either in a ball in your hand or to use your, scoop, okay? So what I do is I just level it off, and then I try one on my hand. And if it looks relatively like it's holding together, then I don't add any more applesauce. And then just place them about 1.5 inches apart on your tray, well, your baking sheet, or tray, I should say. And then once you put them down, just take your clean hands and just press them down a little bit. They don't have to be real flat. It shouldn't stick to your hands too much. If it does, you can always add and just, put your fingers into a little bowl of cool water, but I usually don't need it. And when you do get your scoop, make sure that you press it down, as hard as you can. And then again with your fingers, like I said, just flatten them a little bit. They don't have to be super flat. I like that they have a little bit of roundness to them, but just take your fingertips and press it down. Now, you'll get probably about, if you're using the size scoop that I'm using, which is about 2 tablespoons, you're going to get probably anywhere from, I would say 12 to 18 cookies. Maybe you could even get more. It really depends how big you make them. It also depends how long you want to cook them and bake them. The larger they are, the longer the baking time. Now, you don't want to over bake these so that they're so dry that they just crumble and break apart. But I found within 12 to, well, even 16 minutes, it worked for me. Because all our ovens set up so differently, so you know best. It's 350 degrees, if I didn't mention that. And if you're doing 2 trays at a time, I would rotate them in the timing process, okay? So I'm not going to bore you by putting more. Everyone knows how to put a cookie down on some parchment paper. But I'm just going to rinse my hands real quick and then show you the finished product. Okay, and this is how they turn out. They will have a nice golden brown on the top of the baking. You can see it's sort of a golden brown on the bottom. I like it to be where the bottom and the top is crisp. It has a hard finish to them. And then when you break them open, though, they will have a chewy or a moist center to them, where you can really tell, that the applesauce was the binder for this cookie. And as you can see, it's kind of, when I squish on it, it's holding together. So it has a nice crispy outside when you bite into it, but the inside is chewier and moist. They're not real wet cookies either, where they're, soggy and you wouldn't like them. They really are a great tasting cookie. Now, you could add raisins if you want. You could put maybe a half a cup of raisins. The only thing you're going to have to see how dry it is, so that if it's too dry, add some more applesauce so that it'll form together into that ball that you want. But when I've made these for my family, they have really just like these. Now, you can glaze them over with even a sugar-free chocolate, or or you could glaze them over with powdered sugar and milk or water if you want to add a little bit of sweetness to it, or not. But if people are on restricted diets, they might really like the cookie just the way that it is. But again, you can drizzle or dip them into whatever that you want, whether it's a glaze, whether it's chocolate, that kind of thing. It's, it's kind of endless of the imagination you can have with these little cookies. But it is a healthy little treat, okay? So there you have it. You've got a cookie made of oatmeal, unsweetened applesauce, and your choice of chopped nuts. Great tasting little cookie, great for people that are on restricted diets. And well, if you give this recipe a try and you like it, well, leave a message. I'd love to hear how you made out with it and how you liked it, or whatever that you might have. Even if you have a question, I will do my best and answer in a timely fashion. All right? Well, first off, I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. It's the only place that I put my videos on. I all want to wish you a very healthy and happy new year for 2025. And always to tell you, if you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, well, I can't thank you enough. So thanks again for spending a little time with me on Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.